This is my niece, Samantha. It feels like just yesterday that she was this tiny little kid giving out smiles. The next thing you know it, I blinked and she's about to graduate high school. I really can't believe it. It's been really cool to see her growing up over the years, and she asked me to help her with a project for her graduation ceremony. So let's build it. She needs a board, basically a trifold, at her ceremony to display some photos. So I'm gonna help her with that. I'm gonna make a quick project, make a photo display board. At this point, I've already milled up some of the lumber. I'm just using pine, and I've kind of cut down an offcut of a 2x6 that I had. And the milling process went a little something like this. Now that I've resawed these at the bandsaw, I'm gonna finish milling them, running them through the planer a few times, get them cleaned up, and move on to the next steps. For the joinery of these pieces, I'm just going to be using pocket holes. I have a real simple jig, and I put some pocket holes in all of the short pieces and then just join them to the long pieces. I clamped them all to my work surface so that I could make sure they were flat and together, and then I just used a little bit of glue and screwed them in. Then I just repeated that process until I got all of the pieces put together with the pocket holes. You can see here I have two smaller frames. That's because I wanted the overall width when it was collapsed and folded together to be the same as that one main piece, but it needed to tri-fold out, and those wings didn't need to be too long. For the hinges, I just picked up one single piano hinge that would be enough for what I needed, and then I grabbed my angle grinder and cut it in half. Be sure to kind of use your angle grinder and clean up those edges because they may be a little sharp after you cut it. Next up, it's time to attach the hinges to each of the pieces. I'm actually doing this even though these pieces will be painted. That way, when I remove them and Samantha paints the piece, it will be easy to put the hinges right back where they belong. What you see me using here is called a hinge bit or a self-centering drill bit. It's basically a bit that has a rounded tip and lets you plunge in and puts a hole precisely in the middle of where it plunges. I have not used these much until now, and wow, what a difference they make on hinges. I'll link these bits as well as all of the tools and materials that I use down in the description below. I'm skipping ahead in time a little bit here. Samantha wanted to do the painting herself and distress it a little bit, so I let her do that. Now I'm back over at her house so that we can put it all together and get the twine attached. I got the hinges put back on, and then we talked a little bit about a strategy of how we were going to attack this.
And see, yeah, that's what I was thinking, about this be straight and then all of these kind of be at diagonals.
I like that. We marked out where we wanted the twine to be based on Samantha's vision for this piece, and then we went about attaching the twine with a stapler. I know I have the tendency to want to grab a power tool or something that would make it quicker, and these heavy-duty staplers can be a little bit tough to squeeze. Sometimes this low-tech type of tool is the perfect thing for it. It's easy to use, it's quick, and they're very inexpensive. This twine was a little bit brittle, so we did have to be careful to not make one of the staples actually hit the twine with the edge because it would just shear it off. We were sure to put 2 staples in each of the ends, which would hold the twine very well. We started with the center section and those just went straight across, and then we worked our way to the 2 sides where Samantha wanted them to kind of angle downward. I think it gave this piece a really nice look, but we just continued on around, cutting the excess twine off as we went until we were done. All right, let's see some finished shots of how this thing turned out. I can't believe you're already graduating high school, Samantha. I'm proud of what you've already accomplished, and I can't wait to see what's next.